live in interesting times. Today's stories. EU Commission Vice President calls for a new deal on asylum. Turkey claims migrants are being wounded by Greek border guards. Central European prime ministers hail Greece's effort to stop migrants. Soldiers disinfect streets in Seoul as South Korea adds 142 virus cases. French government requisitions 150 million anti-coronavirus masks. Biden scores early wins over Sanders and says, quote, "We are very much alive." Mike Pompeo meets with DR Congo's Tshisekedi in Washington. Tornadoes rip through Nashville, killing 19 in Tennessee. A Croatian designer launches a cheerful virus mask line. Plus, in Canada, International Auto Show draws thousands of car fans to Toronto. This is Eagle News coming to you from Las Vegas, bringing you stories from around the globe. I'm Anna Kui. And now for the details. European Commission Vice President Margaritis Schinas calls for a new deal on asylum and immigration, saying that the current migration crisis, quote, would be our last chance.
We now have a chance for a new deal on asylum and migration, and this, I dare to say, will be our last chance. Europe cannot fail twice on such an emblematic objective. I hope that we have witnessed over the past few days makes it absolutely clear that the need for adequate financing of our migration and border management in the next multi-annual budget is an imperative. Our means must match our ambitions.
False promises and manipulation has pushed them outside the Greek borders. And a lot of these are people that were in a very difficult situation already, and now they are being a bit trapped by this situation. I think that the most important now is that we should focus on that this political crisis that we have right now do not turn into a long-term humanitarian crisis. This must be the focus.
EU chiefs on Tuesday pledged millions of euros of financial assistance to Greece to help tackle the migration surge from neighboring Turkey, warning against those wishing to test Europe's unity. Flying by helicopter over the Greek-Turkish border, where thousands of desperate asylum seekers have tried to break through for days, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that the bloc would provide Greece all the support needed. Standing alongside Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis and the chiefs of the European Council and European Parliament, von der Leyen said, quote, "Those who seek to test Europe's unity will be disappointed. We will hold the line and our unity will prevail." The European Commission President said the bloc would provide 700 million euros or $777 million, half of it immediately to help manage the migrant situation. In addition, she said the EU border agency Frontex will deploy a rapid intervention team, including an additional 100 guards backed by coastal patrol vessels, helicopters, and vehicles. Von der Leyen said, quote, "Our first priority is making sure that order is maintained at the Greek external border, which is also the European border." Turkey claims migrants are being wounded by Greek border guards as they try to cross over into Europe. The president of the Human Rights Commission in Parliament for Turkey, Hakan Kavusoglu, says it has become a routine for the Greek police to strip people from their belongings, heavily beat them, and wound them as they push them back. Thousands of migrants have massed at the border since Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan gave them the green light to try to enter Europe.
Pazarkule sınır kulesinde yaptığımız gözlemlerde Yunan sınır polisinin sığınmacılara doğrudan ateş ettiği, 5'ten fazla vurulma vakasının olduğu ve yoğun şekilde gaz fişeği kullanıldığı tespit edilmiştir. Soyma, ağır şekilde dövme ve yaralayarak geriye itme Yunan polisinin rutinleştirdiği davranış biçimi haline gelmiştir.
Alandayken hemen yaralılar oldu. Yaralıları direktmen hastaneye sevk ettiler. Gerçekten burada mülteci olmak iradi bir talep değil ve burada insanlık kan ağlıyor. İnsanlık gerçekten bu bir insan hakları sorunu. Bu bir bölgesel bir sorun değil, bir dünya sorunu.
Already we've spoke to people who've tried to cross the border multiple times. People who've had, they say they've had their phones and their money and other belongings stolen. People have been physically abused by Greek border guards. So I think, you know, this is obviously a political game between Turkey and European countries, but at the moment it's the refugees who are paying the price.
Turkey's president on Wednesday warned a fresh migrant crisis could be resolved only if Europe supports its efforts in Syria, as violent clashes broke out between refugees and police on the Greek border. Thousands of migrants have massed at the Greek frontier with Turkey since President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced last week that they would no longer be prevented from trying to enter Europe. Erdogan's move came after 34 Turkish troops were killed in northern Syria by Russian-backed Syrian forces, prompting him to seek greater assistance from the international community. But EU leaders now fear a repeat of the migrant crisis of 2015 to 2016, when more than 1 million migrants crossed into the EU, and have decried Turkish blackmail. Turkey already hosts nearly 4 million refugees, most of them Syrians, and has been fighting the Syrian government in a bid to prevent another influx from Idlib, the jihadist-dominated region that has been under attack by Damascus since December. Close to 1 million people in Idlib have been displaced by the government assault, which is backed by Russian air power, though they are currently blocked from entering Turkey. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell and Council President Charles Michel met with Erdogan and other top officials in Ankara on Wednesday, promising an additional 170 million euros or $189 million in aid for vulnerable groups in Syria. Borrell said the EU recognized the difficult situation Turkey is facing, but that Turkey's decision to open the way for migrants could only make the situation worse. The prime ministers of 4 ex-communist Central European countries hailed Greece's efforts to stop another migrant wave into Europe following Turkey's decision to open the borders. The Czech, Hungarian, Polish, and Slovak prime ministers voiced their support to Greece, saying they were ready to help by sending money as well as police officers. The 4 countries still vehemently oppose any redistribution of migrants across the EU. They highlighted the need to protect the bloc's outer border. The 4 prime ministers also agreed to coordinate their activities to combat a spread of the new coronavirus following the first cases in the Czech Republic and Poland.
Minden segítséget megadunk a görögöknek, hogy ezt sikerüljön megakadályozni. De ha ez sikerül is, akkor is már a görög-török határtól északi-nyugati, tehát európai irányban már van 130 000 migráns. Ezért nem szabad elfeledkezni Macedóniának nyújtandó segítségről, nem szabad elfeledkezni a Szerbiának nyújtandó segítségről, mert meg kell próbálni minél délebbre megállítani ezt a tömeget. Ha nem sikerül, akkor persze, mint 2015-ben, végső mencsvárnak ott lesznek a magyarok, a szerb-magyar határon meg fogjuk őket állítani.
A že Slovensko je pripravené, tak ako som deklaroval pred 2 týždňami maďarskému premiérovi, na jeho požiadanie kedykoľvek vyslať policajtov a príslušnou technikou, aby sme pomohli Maďarskej republike chrániť južnú šengenskú hranicu, ktorú považujeme aj za slovenskú šengenskú hranicu. Zároveň
As part of preventive measures to stop the spread of COVID-19 coronavirus, the city government joins forces with the military to disinfect areas in Seoul. A total of 411 soldiers and 12 K-10 decontamination vehicles have been put into action to cover the more populated areas first, such as stations and parks. The Korea Railroad Corporations also makes efforts every day to disinfect the inside of trains.
서울시는 인원 10명과 제독차 세대를 이용하여 은평구에 있는 역촌역 일대를 제독할 예정입니다. 서울 시민의 안전을 위해 선제적 예방 활동의 일환으로 오늘 시행되는 제독 작전에 총력을 다해 지원하겠습니다.
손잡이, 그다음에 테이블, 그다음에 팔걸이, 화장실 등을 실시하고 있습니다. 주로 고객분들이 많이 이용하고 접할 수 있는 부분을 주로 소독을 실시하고 있습니다. 저희 한국철도공사에서는 3월 3일부터 코로나19 확산 방지를 위해 고객 간의 거리를 두기 위해 창측 자석을 우선 발매를 실시하고 있습니다.
South Korea reported 142 more novel coronavirus cases Wednesday, a significantly lower increase than the day before, taking its total to 5,328, the largest in the world outside China. Seoul had reported 851 new cases on Tuesday, its biggest daily case increase to date, with South Korean President Moon Jae-in declaring war against the deadly virus. The Korea Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said on Wednesday 4 more people had died, taking the toll to 32. South Korea has seen a rapid rise in infections in recent days as authorities carry out checks on more than 260,000 people associated with the Shincheonji Church of Jesus, a religious sect often condemned as a cult that is now linked to more than half the cases. More than 4,000 cases have now been confirmed in the southern city of Daegu, where the outbreak among Shincheonji members began with a 61-year-old woman who developed symptoms on February 10 but attended at least 4 worship services in the city. Vice Health Minister Kim Gang-lip said some 2,300 Daegu patients, some of them with severe symptoms, others with either mild ones or none at all, are waiting to be admitted to medical facilities. Scores of events in the country, from K-pop concerts to sports seasons, have been canceled or postponed over the contagion, with school and kindergarten breaks extended by 3 weeks nationwide. Kim said all daycare centers are also closed until Sunday, and the government is contemplating whether to keep them closed for longer. The central bank has warned of a contraction in its first quarter for the world's 12th largest economy, noting the epidemic will hit both consumption and exports. President Moon said Tuesday the government will inject more than 30 trillion won, or $25 billion, into the economy to address the grave situation brought on by the outbreak. France's Health Minister Olivier Véran announces the government has requisitioned a strategic stock of 150 million face masks for use by professionals to fight and deter the coronavirus.
Un décret publié ce jour et entré immédiatement en vigueur permet la réquisition par l'État des stocks de masques et de la production à venir. Sur un stock stratégique de 150 millions de masques, l'État vient d'en déstocker pour les professionnels de santé, via les officines, les pharmacies d'officine, en ciblant en particulier, dans les premiers temps, c'était le cas notamment lundi, les zones où le virus circulait beaucoup, je pense notamment à l'Oise. Je le redis, il est fondamental que les personnes qui ne sont pas malades, qui ne correspondent pas aux critères retenus et qui ne se sont pas vues indiquer le port d'un masque, n'aillent pas chercher des masques d'une manière ou d'une autre, parce qu'ils sont importants pour celles et ceux qui en ont besoin. S'agissant des masques, nous disposons de toutes les expertises scientifiques suffisantes à ce stade. Recommandations de la Société française d'hygiène hospitalière, de santé publique, ainsi que des publications internationales de renom qui attestent d'une efficacité équivalente face au coronavirus, des masques dits FFP2, les masques à haut niveau de technicité, et de l'usage concomitant d'un masque chirurgical anti-projection pour le patient et pour la personne qui est en face, à savoir le soignant.
Up next, Biden scores early wins over Sanders and says, quote, "We are very much alive." Mike Pompeo meets with DR Congo's Tshisekedi in Washington. Tornadoes rip through Nashville, killing 19 in Tennessee. A Croatian designer launches a cheerful virus mask line. Plus, in Canada, International Auto Show draws thousands of car fans to Toronto. Eagle News will be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Eagle News coming to you from Las Vegas. Democratic presidential hopeful Joe Biden tells supporters in Los Angeles, quote, "I'm here to report we are very much alive," as he notches up startling wins over rival Bernie Sanders in the Democrats' Super Tuesday contest to challenge President Donald Trump.
We're still waiting for Texas and California, a few other small states to come in. But it's looking good. So I'm here to report we are very much alive. And make no mistake about it, this campaign will send Donald Trump packing. People are talking about a revolution. We started a movement. We've increased turnout. And the turnout's turned out for us. That can deliver us to a moment where we can do extraordinary things. Look, our agenda is bold, it's progressive, it's a vision. We won Minnesota because of Amy Klobuchar. And we're doing well in Texas because of Beto O'Rourke. And that's why I was so proud, so incredibly proud to have Mayor Pete's endorsement as well. There's a man of character, intellect, and courage.
I feel that the results are doing good. He's doing good. And I feel that all of us uniting, we're going to get stronger and stronger. And I'm going to support Joe Biden all the way.
I'm in the DACA program. And the reason why I'm in the DACA program is because of him and Barack Obama. I got a chance in this country thanks to both of them. And I couldn't be more grateful. And I want Joe Biden to continue working on us. Because one day I wish I could vote, and I'll vote for him.
Meanwhile, the leader of the Democratic Republic of Congo said he would appoint an ambassador to Israel after a 2-decade gap, inviting the Jewish state to build a close relationship. Tshisekedi said the ambassador would be posted in Tel Aviv, but that a commercial section would be based in Jerusalem, which Israel considers its undivided capital, but where only the United States and Guatemala have moved their embassies. His announcement was criticized by some back home. The prominent grassroots group, Lucha for Struggle for Change, said Jerusalem is, through its history, a place which belongs to Jews, Arabs, as well as Christians. To consider it as Israel's capital is to accept its privatization by only Jews. Jean-Pierre Kabila, an ally of former President Joseph Kabila, whose supporters dominate parliament, tweeted, "DRC cannot ignore Palestine." Tshisekedi said he would visit Israel this year and was especially interested in science, technology, and agriculture investment in his resource-rich but conflict-scarred nation. Israel had a warm relationship with Mobutu Sese Seko, the U.S. ally dictator of the nation formerly known as Zaire, who in 1982 broke with most African states to restore relations with the Jewish state. But according to the Israeli Foreign Ministry, relations stagnated as DR Congo descended into war, and the last Israeli ambassador in Kinshasa left in 2003. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been seeking to normalize the Jewish state's relationships around the world. Most post-independence African nations distrusted Israel out of solidarity with its Arab rivals and due to Israel's alliance with apartheid South Africa. A U.S. emergency official said at least 19 people died Tuesday as tornadoes ripped across the southeastern state of Tennessee, destroying buildings and dropping power lines in Nashville. Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, or TEMA, Public Information Officer Maggie Hannan confirmed the new toll after officials had put the initial count at 8. Another TIMA official said the situation is still being considered a search and rescue mission, with damage reports set to be released in the next few hours. Officials said tornadoes ripped across Tennessee early Tuesday, destroying buildings and toppling power lines in the capital of Nashville, hours before the southern U.S. state was to vote in Super Tuesday primaries. The Nashville Fire Department said that it was responding to reports of approximately 40 structure collapses around the city. Smashed buildings, downed power lines, and debris could be seen across the city, where a tornado tore through shortly after midnight. TIMA said a line of severe storms passed through Tennessee and has caused major damage to buildings, roads, bridges, utilities, and businesses in several counties. Mayor John Cooper wrote on Twitter, urging people to lend a helping hand. Nashville is hurting and our community has been devastated. Tennessee is one of 14 states voting in the crucial Super Tuesday primaries, which will help determine the Democratic nominee for November's presidential election. Nashville is best known as the epicenter of the United States country music scene. Inspired by the global scare over the novel coronavirus, a Croatian fashion designer has launched his own cheerful collection of virus masks. They offer no protection against the disease, which continues to spread around the world, but that has not put off buyers. Take a look.
U principu ideja oko dizajnerskih maske je stvarno došla jako spontano i nekako se opet uspostavilo da onako najbolje stvari zapravo se dese spontano. Svako jutro zapravo na kavi komentiramo o toj nestašici maske, o koronavirusa, to je valjda jedina tema koja nas zaokupljuje. I ja sam u šali rekao kao i se ću ja napraviti kao jednu šarenu, veselu masku, s obzirom da takve i kreacije radim. Fora, naravno, one ne štite od nikakvih bolesti, to je bitno naglasiti, ali onako ljude to vesele, naručuju, kupuju, meni je jako drago. Kreacijama, i eto, nakon nek se ljudi vesele, bitno da je šareno, veselo i mislim da je to najbolji način da se borimo protiv ovog nekakvog negativnog zapravo publiciteta oko tog virusa i cijele te priče.
Aragovic's cotton mask, inspired by Disney characters, pop art, and comic books, immediately sparked an interest across the country. The designer said dozens of the masks, which cost around €9 or $10, have been sold since he started production some 2 weeks ago, and people continue to order them. Aragovic, who believes that the best way to fight against fear of the virus is with positive items such as clothes, stressed that, quote, "These are not medical masks, but cheerful fashion accessories." Croatia has registered 9 cases of the virus, which has killed over 3,200 people across the world. In other news, thousands of car enthusiasts had a chance to marvel at this year's most high-tech automobiles showcased at the 2020 Canada International Auto Show. Here's Eagle News correspondent Marco Zerudo. Take a look.
We're here at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, where the latest trends for speed and style are on showcase for all to see in Canada's largest auto event, the 2020 Canadian International Auto Show.
With over 1,000 vehicles on display on more than 600,000 square feet of space, the Auto Show is not just Canada's biggest car event, but also the nation's biggest show for consumers, according to the Toronto Star. Not only is the variety of trucks, SUVs, cars, and concepts all on display, but the push for alternative fuels, especially electrical, is what keeps over 300,000 people coming each year. We asked those in attendance, what did they like this year? Which cars stuck out? What was their favorite color? And what makes coming to the auto show fun for them?
We're trying to start a tradition. The little ones are young, so yeah, they're big into cars and they know almost every kind of car that's on the road. Sometimes it shocks us, so yeah, we're just trying to maybe start a family tradition and come down here every year. So yeah.
Just the attraction, the different kind of cars, international cars. I love it, and just having the kids here, experiencing with them.
The Aston Martin.
Did you like the cars or did you like the trucks?
Trucks.
The trucks.
The F-150.
The F-150. All right. So, with auto experts always trying to find that extra gear to outpace the competition, and with technology continuously changing the automotive landscape, the future is definitely exciting in making what was once an automotive fantasy a reality for both beauty and the beast. From the 2020 Canadian International Auto Show, this is Marco Zeruto, Eagle News, Toronto.
Thanks, Marco. That is today's Eagle News. Join us again tomorrow for stories that matter to you. Visit our websites at eaglenews.net and eaglenewslive.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenews and on Facebook at facebook.com/eaglenews. Thank you for watching. I'm Anna Kui, and I am 1 with 25.